Welcome back to the Bold program. This is Lesson 4, Heating Solutions Part 2, Storage and Solar Heaters. We will introduce you to Rheem, our line of storage heaters, and Solar Tech, our solar water heater. We'll teach how they work and how to sell them. Let's begin. In this lesson, you are expected to: Number 1. Identify the different Rheem storage heaters, its parts and functions. Number 2. Identify the Solar Tech solar heater, its parts and functions. Number 3. Installation parameters and conditions of the Solar Tech solar heater. Number 4. Survey process, POQ, or the Preocular Questionnaire and SRF or Service Request Form. Rheem Manufacturing Company is an American privately held manufacturer that produces residential and commercial water heaters and boilers, as well as heating, ventilating and air conditioning or HVAC equipment. Currently, Rheem has distribution points globally, supplying their products all over the world. Here are some points on storage heaters. Number 1. A storage heater is highly recommended for areas with hard water and where calcification occurs. Calcification is when white crystals appear when you boil your water. These crystals are actually minerals that form when water is heated. Number 2. Storage heaters are perfect for bathtubs. Note though that there is a slight waiting time when water is used up in the storage heater. Number 3. Storage heaters also need less voltage, making them perfect for areas with fluctuation currents, or if existing installation site has low power circuit breakers or wiring. The Rheem storage heaters are not required to be installed with a circuit breaker. Number 4. Storage heaters are also low pressure compatible and are perfect for areas with low water pressure. A storage heater works very much like an electric kettle. If you have an electric kettle, you know that you first put water into the kettle, then you plug in the kettle to turn it on, then you wait for a few minutes, then the electric kettle tells you when the water is hot already, and is ready to use. The storage heater is the same way. You connect it to the water supply, fill it up with water, then turn it on. You wait for a little while and an indicator light will tell you that the water is already hot and ready to use. This is the Rheem RCY series, available in 15 liters and 25 liters. Up front you have the pilot lamp and the thermostat control knob. Maximum temperature is at 75 degrees Celsius. There is also a pressure relief valve set at 116 psi or 8 bar. Remember that the RCY uses CFC-free polyurethane insulation that lowers the water by only 1.2 degrees Celsius every 24 hours. This means that the water is kept hot longer and saves on electricity. There is also a sacrificial magnesium anode or rod inside to protect the inside of the tank from corrosion. This works by attracting all the calcification generated when the water is heated. This is especially more common with hard water. The calcification bonds to the magnesium rod, instead of the inside of the tank. This is why storage heaters are better suited for hard water areas. The RCY also comes with an adjustable thermostat up to 75 degrees Celsius. The RCY has a cutoff of 93 degrees Celsius where the unit automatically shuts off and would need to be reset manually. Rheem storage heaters are also available in 10, 20, and 30-gallon capacities. Here are some points to remember about Rheem storage heaters. Rheem is infused with Rheem glass enamel tank protection for the inner tank, fused to the metal at 870 degrees Celsius to protect it from corrosion. Rheem is UL approved and comes with an included pressure relief valve. Thermostat is adjustable and comes with built-in over-temperature protection. Incalloy SS heating element that resists dry firing. Includes a replaceable sacrificial rod to prevent corrosion inside the tank. Epoxy-coated outer shell, protects from exposure and the elements. Thick polyurethane protection that keeps water inside hot longer. And each unit come complete with mounting hardware. Here is a simple diagram for the installation of REAM storage heaters. Some considerations. Number 1. Lower wattage. REAM storage heaters does not need very strong currents or a breaker. Number 2. Remember to install near a floor drain for the drain off water. Number 3. 70% of the tank capacity is usable. Number 4. This is the most important, only turn on the unit when the tank is full of water. This is to avoid dry firing which can damage the unit. Always make sure that the tank is full of water before the unit is turned on to prevent this. Even if REAM uses alloy SS heating elements that resists dry firing, prolonged dry firing may still damage the unit. As a reminder, dry firing is turning on the unit with no water in the tank, causing the heating element to overheat. This is the REAM Professional Prestige series. This is our hybrid heat pump. A hybrid heat pump uses the air around it by sucking it. The hot air is then separated from the cold air by using a refrigerant called R134A, which is very common. Once the hot water is separated, this is pumped into the storage tank at the bottom of the unit, heating up the water up to 90 degrees Celsius. So why is it called a hybrid? Aside from the heat pump function of the Prestige, there is also not one but two electric heaters built in to supply heat in the event that the heat pump is not able to raise the temperature due to cold air around it. The electric heaters take over and heat up the water to the desired temperature. There are two electric heaters in the REAM Prestige, the upper 4.5 kilowatts and the lower 2.5 kilowatts. Lastly, the REAM Hybrid is available in 50, 65, and 80-gallon models. Please remember to forward all inquiries on REAM hybrid heat pumps to your respective RAMs or ATS, to further explain how the hybrid heat pump works. The heat pump draws in air from its surrounding area via a fan on top of the unit. The compressor then processes the air by using a refrigerant to separate the cold air and the hot air. Cold air is expelled from the unit. The hot air is then compressed, raising its temperature and then transferred into the storage chamber to heat the water. Let us now get into industrial heat pumps. These units are mostly used for industrial and large commercial applications. Malls and some condominiums utilize heat pumps to supply their whole establishment with hot water. Even with their capability, heat pumps are highly efficient water heaters and use minimal electricity. If you encounter an inquiry for industrial heat pumps, please forward them to your RAM or ATS. This is the SolarTech Solar Water Heater. This is available in 150 and 200 liter variants. The SolarTech Solar Water Heater uses vacuum tubes to heat water and is 100% powered by solar energy. It does not use a pump to circulate water and works just by gravity. The SolarTech Solar Heater has been specifically designed for equatorial countries, like the Philippines, and are mounted at a 30 degrees to 33 degrees angle for optimal exposure to the sun at all times. When we say solar energy, we immediately think about the heat from the sun. Solar energy is actually light energy. This means that even if the atmosphere is a bit cold, as long as there is light and is visible, solar energy is present. Solar energy enters the SolarTech vacuum tubes directly and is trapped inside the vacuum tubes. The inner tube is coated with Cermet, a ceramic metallic paint converts solar energy into heat. The water meanwhile fills up the vacuum tube from the insulated storage tank above. Water when heated rises up, so when the water inside the vacuum tube gets hot, it rises up to the storage tank. This is replaced by the cold water, which is heated. Once heated it goes up. This cycle is continuous as long as the SolarTech solar heater is exposed to solar energy. The storage tank is insulated with polyurethane. This means that at night or in cases when it is cloudy or raining, the heated water inside is kept hot. There is only a 5-degree drop in temperature every 24 hours. The secret really is in the SolarTech vacuum tubes, which are really two tubes, one inside the other. The space in between is a vacuum, meaning there is no air. Vacuum spaces are the best heat insulators. Outside the inner tube there is a coating of cermet. This is a ceramic metallic paint that keeps the heat from the solar energy trapped inside the inner tube where the water is. The water inside these tubes can almost reach boiling point, at 90 to 95 degrees Celsius. Here is a typical installation for the SolarTech solar heater. You may screen capture this. You can also request a copy from your RAM or ATS or through your Facebook group page. Here is a list of the most common questions you may encounter from customers in their inquiry, and we have provided you quick answers for them. You can screen capture this page for future reference. We also have an optional accessory to the SolarTech solar water heater, the backup heating element and solar controller. These are sold separately and are an additional option if the client wants hotter water than he is getting. These can be retrofitted even after the SolarTech has previously been installed. You can set the desired temperature in the solar controller, and if the temperature of the water inside the tank goes below the set temperature, the backup heater is turned on until the water reaches the desired temperature. This is all set automatically upon installation. Installation can be retrofitted to an existing SolarTech solar heater installation. The backup heating element is sold separately from the controller. In the event that something happens to either equipment, you don't need to buy the whole backup heating system again, just the part that you need. Retrofitting the backup heater is a separate installation job, and would need to pass through the same process. The SolarTech solar heater can be installed on a flat roof, which is called a standard installation. Installation on a pitched or slanted roof is called a non-standard installation and may involve some modifications to the frame. The client must prepare the base for the SolarTech solar heater prior to the installation. Plans will be provided to the client. Conditions number 1 to 7 must be met to consider the client for the ocular. The following. Number 1. Customer must have hot water piping system, dual line. The SolarTech solar heater cannot work on a single line installation. Number 2. Available water supply for the solar heater at point of installation. Our technicians will be tapping into this supply. Installation cannot be done without water supply to protect the vacuum tubes to exposure. Number 3. Roof must be prepared for mounting, especially in cases of pitched or slanted roofs. Number 4. We will not modify, drill, disassemble, rebuild the roof. The roof must be prepared by the client. Mounting points must be identified at the time of the installation. Number 5. There should be no obstructions in the area where the unit is to be installed. This would include overhanging trees, construction materials, and other obstructions. Number 6. Location must be surveyed first by a qualified technician or promo to advise customer of any special instructions for their installation. This is done prior to actual installation. Number 7. Best location for facing the unit is in this order: south, north, east, west. This must be communicated well to the client. Number 8 and 9 are more of reminders, like Number 8. Solar tubes must not be exposed to sunlight prior to being filled with water to prevent cracking or bursting with the introduction of cold water after exposure. And number 9. 4 hours initial heating in daytime for a 200L model. Please note the process for SolarTech solar water heaters. Non-compliance to this process may void the installation. Here are the copies of the POQ and SRF forms. Make sure you have copies of these, especially if you have SolarTech solar heaters on display at your outlet. Congratulations! You have just finished Lesson 4. Heating Solutions Part 2, Storage and Solar Water Heaters. Click the button below to proceed to the exam. Remember, do not refresh the page as this will exit you from the exam and mark you as no answer. Good luck!